Welcome back to a brand new episode of Mastering Programming. In today's episode, we're going to be creating a multi-date picker. Now, as you can see in the screen here, we will be adding different options. For example, we can let the user select dates from previous dates or only limit them to be able to select in future dates, which is the option I have here. Now, you'll be able to select future dates, and as you select it, we will also be displaying how many dates have been selected and then also presenting the exact dates that were selected as well. And I'll be showing you how you can change and play around with the format. And basically, as we select different dates, it will always be presented here. Without further ado, let's get started. Well, welcome back. Now, as you can see, we've got a plain blank project over here. The only thing we have is basically the image and then some text. And the first thing that I will be doing is I'll actually be removing the image since we just do not need it really. And what we can do is we can click on this plus icon over here. We can scroll until we find the multi-date picker. So it's just right over here. And I'm just going to add it right after the text, just like this. And straight away, you will see that it will actually get generated automatically for us. Now, before we continue, this is too much. It's filling the entire screen. So what we can do is we can add a frame. And inside that frame, I only want to limit the height. So I'll put height, and then we can put 300. There we go. And now it's limited to a specific size that we want. Now, something else that I want to add is the date. Or showing basically the number of dates showing. So what we can do is we can create a list, and we're going to be adding the list at the top. Now I'm simply going to call my list dates, but you can call it anything you want. I'm going to call it at state, and that way we can access it throughout our project. I'll say at state var dates, and then I'll say equal to, and then say inside of this I will say two dots or column dot set. Inside of here we can say date components, and then to actually finalize the list, what we can say is equal to open and close the bracket. And that way we've got a list set for dates that we can keep on adding to or removing from at any stage. What I will do is I'll then use those dates and I'll place it inside of here. It legit tells us this is where we put it. So I'll put a $, and then I'll simply type in dates, just like this. For the label, we can put it whatever we want. So I'm just going to say select date. Now this might lag a little bit, don't worry about it. What we can do now, however, is we can actually just run this to see if this runs properly or not. And you can see straight away, without even doing that much, we already have our multi-date showing, and we can try interact with it, and it actually works. We can select as many dates as we want. Now, two things here. A, we're currently not showing which dates are being selected or how many dates are even being selected. And at the same time, you can see that right now they can select previous dates. So right now we're on the 30th. They can select the 1st of January, and they can also select future dates. So what I want to do next is I want to limit it to only allow them to select future dates and not previous dates. And we also want to show the number of dates being selected. And then finally, before we finish, we're also going to be showing the dates that have been selected. So let's go ahead and do that now. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually just going to be showing the number of dates selected. And to do this, it's actually very simple. All I'm going to do is I'll be removing this text, and I'll be doing this, and that way we can actually type in a variable inside. So all I'm going to say is I'll simply type in dates.count, and over here I'll say number of dates selected, or we can say number of dates and just keep it simple. And after that, what we said we want to do is we only want to show, or we only want to allow the user to select future dates. And to do this, it's also very simple. We're just going to put a comma, and then we're going to type in. We're going to be saying date.now, and then 1, 2, 3, just 3 dots. I don't think we need to put a space. Let's run this and see if two things happen. A, we're showing the number of dates selected, and if they're only able to select future dates. Okay, so the app now launched, and straight away we can see a few things. A, we've got a number of dates, and it's currently showing 0. And at the same time, you can see that the user cannot actually select any previous dates. So like I mentioned, we're on the 30th. The user cannot select 23, 24th, 25th, whatsoever. They can only select current, which is the 30th, or also future, 31st, and so on, and we can keep going. And you can also see that the number of dates is also being updated as I'm clicking on it. Not just that, but if I unselect any, it also gets reduced. So it's very dynamic. It straight away adds to that list and removes it based on a click or an unclick. Let's go back and continue and see how we can actually now display or present those dates being entered. So our next step now is simply to just present those information, and to do that, let's first add an environment variable, and we're going to save calendar. That's what it's going to be called. And over here we can open and close the bracket, we'll put a dot, and we'll simply say calendar. So now all we need to do is actually create a variable here called summary, and that summary will basically allow us to format the dates that have been selected. Now I already copied and pasted this over here, so you can also have a look at it and paste it where you want. You basically put it after line 21, and you need to make sure that you have line 11 completed. And now we can actually present the summary any way we want. For me, I'll simply present it right under the number of dates selected, and I'll do that by typing in summary. And now if we actually run this application, not just will we be able to display the number of dates selected, limit them to which dates they can select, but we're also going to be able to show them a summary of the dates that they have selected. So let's run this and see if this actually works or not. Okay, so we can see that the app has started running. As we can see, you can't select previous dates, so that's check. If we select a current date, we can see the number of dates selected is 1, and we also see the date that has been selected. So for example, I clicked on the 30th, and you can see that the 30th has been added. If I unselect it, again, same thing happens, it gets removed. Let's see what happens if we keep selecting multiple different ones. So I'm going to select 6, and you can see that they all get presented in a comma-based format, one after the other. This is it for this tutorial. It was easy. I'm pretty sure this is useful. You can then do comparisons, like say how many days have been selected automatically and so on. It's very easy, it's very useful, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or feedback on how this tutorial went, please make sure you do leave a like and a comment explaining exactly what you didn't like or what you liked and how I can improve in the next episode. Thanks so much, and I hope to see you in future episodes.